Hello. How's it going, people? Welcome to the stream. Welcome. Hope everyone's had a fantastic day. Of course, Arsenal today. They beat Fulham 1-0. Set piece FC strikes once again. And we managed to scrape 1-0 win. It wasn't a great performance. It wasn't a groundbreaking performance. It wasn't a phenomenal performance. But we got the job done. 3 points on the board. Cool. I'm happy with that. I'm not going to lie. The performance, not so much. The real test is coming up this Tuesday, in just a few days, to be honest. And it's gonna be against Atletico Madrid. But for today, yeah, it wasn't a great watch. It wasn't a nice watch. Obviously, City picked up points, 3 points against Everton, 2-0, which meant that Arsenal also must win to add some extra pressure on Liverpool tomorrow against Manchester United. But of course, we all know Manchester United, they technically have some stats that are in their favor, but overall they're not performing great. So yeah, Arsenal at least got the job done. It was fantastic to see. Set piece FC strikes again. Set piece again, ole ole. The question for me is regarding set pieces, how long it's going to last. Because, again, long term, it's not sustainable, unfortunately, for me at least. And at some point, we need to score from open play. And that is not going to fly this easily. Because from open play, yeah, we created something. But at the same time, as we all know, we struggled finishing it. So it was a rough one. I'm not going to lie. And the second one was Calafiori. We have had debates over the last few days about Calafiori on the channel, streams. I have released TikTok/shorts about it. And yeah, the big thing about Calafiori is he actually was arguably, at least in the first half for sure, our best player. And not just our best player, but he was our best forward. And I'm talking about the left back here, which is kind of nuts, to be honest, if I come to think of it. But we're going to deep dive into all this during the stream. Let me know how you felt about the game, how you're feeling about the game in the live chat. Like the stream if you haven't already. Subscribe if you are new around here. To be honest, let's get into it. Big up, Andrew. Big up. Hope you're doing well. 3 points and the clean sheet. Yeah, to be honest, yeah, clean sheet, 3 points. That's great. I'm not gonna lie, that is great. Just wish the performance reflected some stuff as well. But another poor performance, exactly. That is the biggest thing. We still get results despite performances, which is technically it's great, and it's on paper as well. On the table, it is fantastic, to be honest, because poor performance and we still get a goal and we win the game. The thing is, though, at some point the results must catch up to performances, or the performances will catch up to the results. So at some point, something is going to dry up. And when that happens, what's going to be the solution? Because we cannot afford to start to stink off the place, of course. Running on fumes and won't last long at this pace. Exactly. That's the biggest thing. We won't last long if this keeps up. Definitely, it won't last long. Big up, my boss. Hope you're doing well. Big up, Fusion is not jazz. It's quite late for you, isn't it? Why are you awake? Were you watching Arsenal? I'm kind of surprised, to be honest, that you actually didn't fall asleep watching that game, to be honest. But yeah, Laurie goal, set piece FC, and everything strikes again. And Trossard makes it 1-0 with thanks to corner from Saka. Gabriel heads it forwards, and of course then it just bounces technically even off Trossard, and it goes 1-0. Another stinker by Gyokeres. Yes, it was. Another stinker by Gyokeres. But according to Mikel Arteta, he's happy with that. He's happy with Gyokeres dropping stinkers. We saw this yesterday in the interview. Arteta said, if you sign for Arsenal and you're number 9, I want a number 9 that's okay with not scoring 6 or 8 games. The big question then is, why the hell did you sign even a number 9 anyways? Because if you want your number 9 be able not to score 6 to 8 games and be fine with it, what was the point in it anyways? Might as well play Merino up top and nothing changes. Might as well play I don't know, Mosquera up top, and he still also won't score 6 to 8 games and nothing's going to change. If that is the case, so what was the point in signing Gyokeres in the first place? I don't know. Genuinely, I don't know. It is what it is. But yeah, Gyokeres wasn't great in overall. At the same time, yeah, he's doing what Mikel Arteta is telling him to do. Well, basically not to score goals too much. So, hey. Big up AFC always. Big up. The performance was poor. Again, we can't keep getting away with this. Exactly. Just like Liverpool, there was a point where their 90-plus minute, 85-plus minute winners run out. They dried up. At some point, our set pieces are going to dry up as well. Our performances will be reflected by results with draws and losses. It has to happen because unless Arsenal actually start to have performances which basically are 10 times better, which reflects in results in 2, 3, 4 nothings or 3, 4 ones and stuff like that, at some point the performance is going to catch up, and these 1-0, 2-0 set piece scraped wins are not going to cut it. And at some point it's going to be very, very dark times. Very dark times, to say the least. The lottery goal, ole ole, yeah, that's what it is. I see. Respect for you for dedication, staying up basically till early morning, like 4 a.m. and just watch the game. Arsenal fans crying over the penalty. Yeah. I know that. I know. Everyone's crying, but you cannot. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not here to moan about the referees. It is what it is. They didn't give the penalty. We were 1-0 up. If it cost us, it would maybe be a bigger talking point. At the same time, like, what's the point? What's the point in moaning about referees? Because nothing changes. Nothing gets improved. Nothing happens at the end of the day in those terms. Genuinely, nothing happens. And yes, you can see in one of the replays, he clips the ball and takes out Saka. Then you have like 3-4 different angles where you see that he hits Saka's leg and then he gets the ball and everything. People are having a field day on this at the moment on social media regarding a penalty. I'm not gonna lie, like it is what it is. I'm just already have made my peace with it that referees are what referees are. They don't make the correct decisions many times, in my opinion at least, or just they make controversial decisions. So there's more talking about the Premier League. Sometimes it feels that way. But overall, yeah, it is what it is. Everyone gets bad calls. Some teams might get it more than others, but at the end of the day, everyone gets them. And maybe we are a bit fortunate that we're in a position that it didn't cost us points. If it cost us points, maybe we'd be in a more disappointment and more anger we had. But overall, yeah, it is what it is. It is what it is. The referees are referees. We should be used to it by now, and at least I am. So we cannot complain because there have been lots of goals even we have scored when referees have gotten the decision wrong. We have gotten a corner when it was a goal kick. We haven't received a penalty where it was a blatant penalty. It goes both ways. It goes both ways no matter how you look at it as well. Arteta made some wicked decisions on subbing the players. Yeah, definitely he did. Definitely. Like did Norgard come on for Gyokeres as well? Because I think it was like that. Norgard came on for Gyokeres, which was a weird one. I'm not gonna lie. It definitely was a weird one. Merino came on, Norgard came on, and Martinelli came on, and that's about it. Mosquera didn't play. Ben White didn't play. Obviously, Kepa didn't play. I'm more interested why Skelly didn't play. Ethan Wangieri didn't play. He didn't touch grass. And also Max Daumann, he also didn't touch grass whatsoever. Like, what is the point in having them into the team when you're not going to play them? Like, I just don't get it. Eze wasn't having the best of games as well today in the 10, which is surprising knowing Eze, but yeah, the performance wasn't great. I think Saka got man of the match from Sky Sports or whatever. Like, okay, cool. Saka actually was decent today. I'm not going to lie. Saka, for me, was actually somewhat decent today. It wasn't the usual Saka where he gets triple teamed and he just disappears afterwards. So good for him. Good for him. If he can come back better than ever, then I will be all for it. This will help us massively. People can say what they want about Gyokeres, but when he's absolutely getting nothing from our creative players, goes to show this is on the manager. He needs to change. Yeah, exactly. At the end of the day, yes. Yes, and at the end of the day, yes. Gyokeres not scoring is concerning. And for me personally, it's not because he's not scoring because he gets chances. It's the fact that he doesn't get chances. Because if he got, let's just say, 15 chances and he missed all 15 and somewhere basically it happens, I would be worried because I would question his finishing ability. But the issue is that the fact that he doesn't even get the chances to score the goddamn goals. That, for me, is the biggest issue. Our team doesn't create specifically for him. We tend to cross the ball, but what's the point? Because it never results into anything. We tend to overhold the possession, over-dribble the possession. We turn into traffic and everything. It's backwards in terms of how you should be playing without an out number 9. But obviously, Mikel Arteta comes out in an interview and says the fact that he has a number 9 who Arteta doesn't mind that he doesn't score for 6 to 8 games. It says a lot about the manager, about the style, about the vision, how he envisions his number 9. And it says a lot. It definitely says a lot. And this also has some sort of a inkling that as soon as Havertz is back, Havertz is starting. It's starting to give me these vibes, how much he said that Gyokeres should be okay with not scoring 6 to 8 games. But if you are a designated striker, an out-and-out number 9, a goal machine, you should not be satisfied with that with yourself, especially when manager comes out and says this. You should not be. There is no chance in hell that also Gyokeres would openly sign a deal at Arsenal if Arteta says to him, well, you might not score for 6, 8, maybe even 10 games, but don't worry about that. Like, it shouldn't be the case. So it gives him starting to give me vibes that Arteta might actually instantly put Havertz in the team as soon as he's back. Big up, Hyper Protagonist. Big up. Hope you're doing well. 2 a.m. Damn, 2:14 a.m. at the moment. So you're what, 4 hours ahead of me? Damn. Respect the dedication, man. I was disappointed. Big up PW, by the way. I was disappointed today with Gyokeres again. His first touch doesn't look good, and his agility doesn't seem too good. I thought Calafiori gave 100%. Yeah, Calafiori was our best forward today. Calafiori, and yes, you heard me say this right. Calafiori was best Arsenal forward today. And I'm talking about the left back here. Saka was great. No, good, very good today as well. Credit where credit is due. But Gyokeres doesn't have the first touch, doesn't have excellent first touch. In terms of link-up play, distribution, and everything, he has 2 bricks for feet. He cannot do that. And we talked about this as well a few days ago, where basically I put out a statement regarding Gyokeres and regarding Havertz, the fact that Havertz has the link-up play, but he doesn't have the finishing touch. Gyokeres doesn't have the link-up play, but he has the finishing touch. And unfortunately, one player has what other player doesn't, right? Which at the end of the day means that no matter who you play, you're going to lack something in the forward line. And if you wanted the best of both worlds in those terms, something like Firmino type of player, you should have signed Julian Alvarez, because he has the technical ability, he has the passing, he has the finishing touch. But yeah, it is what it is, I guess, at the end of the day. Everyone, in hindsight, is a beautiful thing if you're looking in that way. I've been in the hospital. It's been confirmed that I've received a hairline fracture on my ribs, and I'm getting attacked the other night. Painkillers and the rest, all I can do. Dude, rest up, man. Rest up, man. Hopefully you're gonna feel better very, very soon. Take care of yourself. Take care of your family, because being a family man and being in pain and not knowing that you cannot do anything to help and everything, it is a rough feeling, mentally especially. So rest up, man. Hopefully you get better soon. Hopefully you get back to your best very soon. But yeah, having ribs, cracked ribs and everything, it's painful, to say the least. It's hard to breathe and everything. Just rest up, and hopefully you are better very, very soon. Very, very soon. Hopefully. Just stay strong, my man. Gyokeres not scoring is concerning. Big up Liam, and yes, it is. Unfortunately, it is. It's starting to get very worrying. It's starting to get very, very, very worrying, to say the least. Arsenal. Who was the Arsenal man of the match? Bukayo Saka got man of the match for Arsenal. And that was big. Saka got man of the match from Sky Sports, basically. It wasn't like Arsenal thing. Like, and all this stuff. Like, he got man of the match from the Sky Sports. For me, I would argue man of the match, I would say Timber, Rice, maybe those two, but Saka as well should be in the top 3 in mentions of the man of the matches. Saka was actually very, very good today. He wasn't the usual Saka as we are used to see after he has come back from injury, where he feels off pace when he's always half step behind, where he feels like he cannot sprint. He actually today was on point to a certain extent. So props to Saka as well for that one. But yeah, he shouldn't have gone man of the match. He got it, but credit where credit is due to him as well. At this point, put Gyokeres left wing. He might score from that position. Maybe he loves cutting inside and shooting across toward the near corner. Maybe that would work. Maybe. But Arteta is not going to do that as well. Definitely Arteta is not going to do that as well. Does Gyokeres have a finishing touch, though? Still hoofing those balls over the stadium. Trossard again, so frustrating. And even Eze. Yeah. Gyokeres has the finishing touch. Is just the issue with that is that form plays a massive thing into finishing your chances. Because if you are on top of your form, you have a good goal scoring streak going, you can also score some random goals, which usually you don't score. And the sad part with that is that Gyokeres doesn't have the chances to score any goals, which means his goal scoring form definitely is going to be put off. Last time he scored was against Nottingham Forest anyways. It's like more than a month ago. So it's definitely not great looking in that regard as well. I think it's combination of everything, and the fact that we don't create for him enough as well, it's a very big worry. Trossard was frustrating today. At the same time, he scored a winning goal, so good for him. Then again, shows that sometimes you don't have to have the best performance in the world to be the hero of the match. Because basically, if Trossard doesn't score, this game ends 0-0. And Eze had actually a very poor game. Very poor game Eze had today. He was misplacing passes. He was taking very heavy touches. Sometimes he felt out of position. Eze wasn't on point today. It felt like his mind was somewhere else. Not sure what that is all about. But yeah, Eze today, specifically in the 10 spot, where everyone expects, including myself, that he would feed the balls to Gyokeres to score some goals. None of that happened. Absolutely none of that happened. Eze is definitely something wasn't clicking today for Eze. Hopefully it's just a one-off, of course. Hopefully it's just a one-off. But in this system, in this style, how Mikel Arteta wants to play, how he sets up the team, and how he wants to go about things, I'm not too sure. It could be genuinely a spiral situation where it spirals out of control to some extent. And that, again, is another worry. It's a different dimension of the things, in my opinion, we should be worried about. But more games we play, the more we will see this, whether it's true or not, whether it's just a one-off or whether it's just on the system and style. So for now, one Eze game, yeah, it is what it is. We have to live with it. But overall, it wasn't, yeah. First half was boring as hell, I think, when I went micro sleep at some point. I don't blame you, because I would say the first, 50, 60 minutes? I think something like that. They were not great. First 50 minutes of the game, first half and the first 5 minutes of the second half were not great. After that, Arsenal started to rally up some momentum, and we actually scored that one goal. And again, afterwards, it was just, again, not great, to say the least. But yeah, first half wasn't great at all. We tried to do some things. It didn't work. It looked like it might work, but it didn't at the end. Obviously, we took control of the game. We had more possession, as we usually tend to do. But besides that, as I said, Calafiori was the best player. He was our best forward in that first half. And he is a left back. So that pretty much says a lot about the first half in general. And it is a worry. It is a massive worry, because we were slow, pragmatic, lackluster. It felt like our focus was not there. It felt like something like that. And if it keeps it up like this on consistent basis, right, we might be out of the game if we play maybe a tougher opponent, a bigger opponent. Obviously, one of the biggest tasks we will have so far, we are playing on Tuesday. We are playing Atletico Madrid at Emirates. And Atletico Madrid, I think, are currently playing against Osasuna. Yes, they are. It's still 0-0. Obviously, Albana scored a goal, but it was offside. So what is the lineup for Atletico Madrid? Oblak, Gonzalez, Hanko, Jimenez, Lenormand, Llorente, Barrios, Koke, Baena, Alvarez, and Antoine Griezmann. That is the lineup for Atletico Madrid currently. On the bench, they have Thiago Almada, Galan, Gallagher, Martin, Molina, Pubil, Raspadori, Ruggeri, Simeone, Sorloth. Obviously, Longley is out with a red card, so we'll see how that influences things. Cardozo with an ankle injury. It's not this. I think there will be some changes for our game when we play them once on Tuesday. Simeone is going to make some changes. Sorloth most likely is going to start together with Griezmann, something like that. I expect some changes, but this could be close to the starting 11 we're going to see. And I'm quite worried about that game. I know I'm kind of shifting away from the topic of today's game and today's reaction to the game. Sorry, my camera just went out of focus. I need to fix it. But I'm quite worried about the game on Tuesday as well. Because if we play like we played today, it could be rough. It definitely could be rough. Obviously, we have good defense. We could hope on the fact that it saves us against Atletico Madrid. But Atletico Madrid is not going to be those teams that doesn't create it against you. It's not going to be those teams that doesn't have shots against you. And that, for me, is a big worry. And on top of all that as well, the fact that Raya had to make some great saves today. It could be a nuts one. It could be a nuts one. It definitely could be a nuts one. Thank God we are playing Atletico Madrid at home. Yeah, exactly. If we had to play them at Wanda Metropolitano, it could be nuts. It would be curtains for us because at home they are insane, to be honest. But at the moment, it's 22nd minute. They are still 0-0 against Osasuna at home. Based on stats, yeah, Atletico Madrid already has 6 shots, 2 on target, 65% possession, almost 1 xG if you are a stats nerd, and they already are pushing for it heavily. So if we play them at their ground, I think it could have been very rough. It could have been end of days for us to some extent. Definitely could be end of days to some extent. So we'll see how that goes. But at Emirates, yeah, definitely. At Emirates, we have a chance. Hopefully, we actually take that chance because we need to win again. For us to basically be very near, and for me specifically, to feel very confident that we are going through in Champions League, at least we don't have to play those extra 2 games. We need to beat Atletico Madrid and we need to beat Bayern, both at home. We need to beat them both. If we don't, it's gonna be very rough. We might not get in. It. Big up Most Wanted. I watched the PSG Strasbourg last night. That game was enjoyable. Yeah. I wanted to carry on this game today. I couldn't watch. I started playing with my phone. Same. Because there are games I watch. I watch a lot of football, right? And for me, it's a very big telling when I enjoy the game or not. Because if I watch the game, I watch the game. If I am into that game, if I enjoy the game, I do nothing else. Yes, I may make myself put the pot on to make myself coffee, and I watch it on the phone even at the same time, or I just run right back until it's done, right? But as soon as I start to click through tabs, I start to check maybe Twitter, I start to sit on phone, or I start to maybe do something else. That for me is an instant telling that this game is very boring, and I'm not fully into it. And I had the same with Arsenal. I was watching today Arsenal's game, and I just realized at some point that I'm sitting more on phone, scrolling even to TikTok, checking answers and comments on my TikToks. I was checking some what's happening in group chats on WhatsApp as well, rather than watching the game. And that for me is a big telling, because there are many games I watch, I don't even touch my phone, just because they are that enjoyable to watch, only at halftime and stuff like that. Could we try Martinelli as a 9 with Trossard and Saka wide? We should be trying Martinelli at number 9, in my opinion. We should. He played at number 9 again under Emery, and he was great there. He has played at number 9 under Arteta very few times. And he has been actually good, very good there, to be honest, if you ask me. And for Brazil as well, he plays up top, which is very interesting. And he scores for Brazil as well when he plays up top, which is the nuts part. For Arsenal, he doesn't play there. That is the biggest thing. Martinelli today also was a nuts one. I saw in the second half when he came on and everything. He was in midfield many times. Just like Gyokeres was quite a bit of times at right wing, not even a striker. He was on the wings, which I get it. He loves to drift. At least he loves to drift onto the left and then cut in and everything. But on the right, that was a weird one. That really was a weird one. So today's performance, yeah, it's a boring, crazy one, to say the least. It was a very, very boring one. Of course, I'm happy with the 3 points, but the performance is just not it whatsoever. And as I said, at some point, the results will catch up to performances. And that is definitely one of my biggest worries this season. Because as soon as the results start to reflect the performances, we are done. Unless the performances start to reflect the results. If we win 3-0, the performance reflects it. But for now, we win 1-0 despite the bad performance. We win 2-0 despite the bad performance. As soon as we start drawing games 1-1, 0-0, 2-2, if that even happens at times, right? If we start to lose some games even, and the performance is bad, that for me is the biggest worry at the moment. Because so far we have gone away with it for quite a while. The question is how long we gonna get away with it. Because at some point the penny has to drop that it's not gonna work. It's not gonna work. But when? How? Will it happen soon? Will it be at the most important time of the season when it's like April and we are still hanging in there? Let's just say first or second, 1 point separates us with the first place, or we are ahead on everything. Who knows? Because these things tend to basically influence the season at the most opportunistic times, when you have the biggest chance, when you need the biggest advantage, when you are maybe when this is a must-win type of situation, and it just goes. And that is for me a big worry. Big worry. And got sacked again. Yeah, he got sacked again instantly. It was expected as well. I read that yesterday that Ange might be sacked today if they lose to Chelsea. And it was like that. Like, it was 0-0. There was a camera shot, right? It was 0-0 in the first half, like 20th minute or something. Or sorry, no, this is very itchy. Something like that. And Marianakis was sitting in the stands, right? Marianakis was sitting in the stands. Then the camera turned to him in like 55th or 60th minute. It was 2-0 Chelsea, right? And Marianakis was not in the stands anymore, which basically just shows that he already was in the dressing rooms just waiting for the game to be over just to fire him. It just shows that. The biggest question is, who is going to be the next manager? Who will come in at Forest at the moment? Who's going to be the manager who's going to take a gamble? Who Marianakis is going to take a gamble on? That, for me, is the next big question. I'm very curious about this because if they get the right manager, it could be very interesting. It could be very interesting. Potter apparently is very close to being the Sweden national team manager. That's what I read yesterday and even today. I think 2 days ago or yesterday it was, I read that he is one of the options. And later that evening and this morning as well, I read that he's very close to becoming a Sweden national team manager. Interestingly enough. Wait, let me check this. Potter Sweden. Let me check this quickly. See? Here it is. It comes from Fabrizio Romano himself. It comes from Fabrizio Romano himself. Sweden Federation is closing in on appointment of Graham Potter as the new head coach. Initial short-term deal until March to focus on getting to the World Cup. Apparently, their days are still not numbered, but they're done if they don't win all of the games that they have left. And they need to also the results to fall in their favor. Potter wants to help the country that gave him his break in football. Yeah, that is also the case. Talks are at final stages. That is also the case. It looks like Potter might be joining. Might be joining Sweden. Let me check this. And here we go. Fabrizio Romano has reported also this. And this is regarding, of course, Nottingham Forest manager. Nottingham Forest have made a formal approach with Roberto Mancini after Postecoglou got sacked. Mancini hasn't given any indication on his plans yet, as talks have just started, as someone reported. But Sean Dyche also remains another candidate for Nottingham Forest shortlist. So Nottingham Forest already are shopping, and it will be very interesting to see Mancini. Conte is Napoli's manager, by the way. Napoli's manager is Conte. Napoli's manager is Conte. Don't get it twisted. And if I'm not mistaken, Mancini at the moment is also a free agent. Roberto Mancini is without a job. So he is available if he decides to it. Yeah, Dyche. Imagine Nottingham Forest under Sean Dyche with that grit grind football where they eat wood, chew concrete, and just flush it down with some diesel and gasoline and all this stuff. Imagine that type of football under Dyche at Forest. Can you imagine that? The back line of Olaina, Williams, Murillo, Milenkovic. Then you have in front of you the Luiz and Sangare, and then they Morgan Gibbs-White, and then they have outlets on the wings, and they have, let's just say, for the sake of an argument, Chris Wood or Ivoni up front. That actually could be working for them very nicely. Yeah. Conte has been the manager of Napoli. It's his second season. Last season, he took the job in the beginning before the season kicked off, and he won the league. Conte with Napoli won the Serie A last year, and if I'm not mistaken, as well, at the moment he's second in the table. He's second in the table, based on goal difference, basically to Inter Milan. Obviously, if Juventus wins the game, they're gonna be third, and if Milan win the game, they're gonna be third or fourth. Big up Mubarak, big up. While Gyokeres is on pressure, so he deserves persons with him shut down that pressure. He deserves everything. But Mikel Arteta said himself that he has signed him and he should be okay with not scoring 6 to 8 games. Those are Mikel Arteta's words himself. Nobody else, just Mikel Arteta's words himself. And for me, that raises one of the biggest questions that I need answered to now. What was the point in signing goal scoring number 9? A man that has scored 100 plus goals in the last 2 seasons. If you are not utilizing him properly, and if you wish that he is okay with not scoring for 6 to 8 games, if not even more. Because if I'm a bagsman, and I was playing striker when I played football. I was right wing / striker. I was hella pissed off if I went even 1 game without scoring goals. If it dragged on to 3 games, I was lucky if I got even a start. I was instantly benched. Because for a team to win games, they need goals. They need goals. And unfortunately, somehow this doesn't compute with our manager. He wants us to have great defense and no goals. Like that it's just that's backwards to some extent. Okay, if I'm not mistaken, Mancini got sacked from Saudi national team due to poor result against my country last year. Wasn't Mancini's last job at Villarreal? Oh, sorry, at Real Betis, or am I tripping? Oh yeah, he got sacked by Saudis. Yeah, my bad. Who was Pellegrini? Is at Real Betis? My bad. But yeah, he got sacked by Saudi Arabia. Yeah. He got sacked by Saudis. He had 18 matches, and the last game was 1-3. Sorry. Yeah, it was a 0-0 against Bahrain, and it was 2-0 loss to Japan when he got sacked. He got sacked after those 2 games. Yeah, Mancini got sacked by Saudis. And that was from the World Cup qualification stage in Asia, where it looks like they didn't qualify because of that. Well, they didn't qualify. So that is very interesting. But yeah, they basically, the group stage was, they won against Tajikistan, they draw against Tajikistan, so they went through. They beat Pakistan 3-0, they lost to Jordan, they drew against Indonesia, they won against China, and then they lost to Japan and drew to Bahrain, and then he got sacked. I personally don't rate Mancini. He's not that great when you don't have Saudi money like in City. Yeah, I can see that. I can see that. I wouldn't mind having Pellegrini though. I'm not gonna lie. I would take a punt on Mancini at Arsenal. Because if you are willing to give Arteta 1 billion, there is no excuse not to give Mancini 1 billion, first of all. And second of all, I wouldn't, as I just mentioned, I wouldn't mind having Pellegrini at Arsenal. I would love to see what he does with this team. I would love to see what Pellegrini does with this team. And I'm not sure that Greek Tony Soprano will give much penny. We'll see, because I'm not too sure how close or far, what's its face, Forest are with the FFP and PSR and all that jazz, right? No pun intended, fusion, right? But I think they will give the money. They will give the money. It's also the question how well Edu can negotiate. We all know how that is going most of the times. We have seen it at Arsenal. So we'll see. But looking at, for example, at Nottingham Forest squad at the moment, at least, right? If they got one proper winger, I think they could get Europe 100%. It will be very interesting because I expect Forest to have a new manager, right, by the next game week. Because I think but for Europa League, right, I think they will be with an interim manager, but for the next game week in Premier League, where who do Forest play even next game week? They will have a new manager. Nottingham Forest play Porto on Tuesday, by the way. Porto on Tuesday, at home at least. I think they will have interim, but for the game against Bournemouth away on Sunday, I think they will have a proper manager in. At least I expect so. Not trying to sound harsh, but isn't Pellegrini too old for the job right now? Well, Pellegrini at the moment is 72, right? He's 72. But he is the head coach at the moment. He's the head coach of Real Betis. And I like how Real Betis play and how they look. So why not? Literally, why not? If you make me choose between Arteta and Mancini, then the latter will probably be before the front, obviously, but not by a mile. Yeah, I get it. I absolutely get it. 100% I get it. So we'll see. We'll see. How old is Wenger? Wenger is 75. Wenger is 75 at the moment. Gyokeres just shut down pressure goals will come. Hopefully, because the fan base already wants Havertz to start and Gyokeres to be dropped. Pellegrini is definitely not the long-term project guy. Yeah, he can come in, slice and dice for a season or two and still win something. Exactly. And that, for me as well, that should be, I don't want to say that should be a regular practice, but a manager should get 2 seasons at a job. If he wins something, okay, cool. He can stay. If he doesn't, well, see you later, alligator. See you next. Let's move the next one in. Obviously, it sounds very harsh, very, very shrewd as well to some extent, very disrespectful as well. But it's also it's a result-based business, football, at the end of the day. The more you win, the better players you can get, the better deals you can get in terms of commercials, TV revenues, and all this stuff. And you just have to win. And unfortunately, Arsenal don't win. So trying Mancini, trying Pellegrini even for 2 seasons would not be the worst thing, though. 2 seasons, why not? Give him some money, 300 million or something like that. See what sticks, because the squad is good enough. Maybe sign a few players to maybe fit you who you want to see more on the pitch at times. But the squad is good enough for many things to do. With all the money spent, whether you like it or not, squad is good enough to win stuff. It's just the fact that this manager cannot win stuff. That is a completely different discussion. That is a complete and utter different discussion in this regard for me personally. I just feel that the team is built to win stuff and it's ready to win stuff. It's just the fact that we don't have the winning mentality and we don't know how to get it over the line. Maybe getting a manager who has done it before and who knows how to do it would actually shift the narrative, and it would shift the change, and it would make it something to change. But with a manager who hasn't done it before, it's a rough one. It's a very tall task to do, especially, for example, in Champions League, in a competition that the team has never won in their history. Premier League in 23 years, 24 even, 23 years, sorry. Like, it's a very tall order for us to make, even for Arteta, if we are looking at it from that point of view. But yeah, there are managers available. There are. I have also read today, whether it's true or not, for example, I don't know, but there is a turmoil in Barcelona, for example, about Hansi Flick, how disrespected he was, because Lamine Yamal was late for the training, and he wanted to bench him, and then afterwards, Laporta himself apparently has had a meeting with Flick, and he said to him that, well, he must play. People are coming here to see him. The stadium is going to be packed. He must play. And he played, obviously, but they lost to PSG and all this stuff. But just a month before, Rashford was late for training. He got instantly benched. So what precedent does that set in general when you can be late and some players get specific treatment? And this is now coming from the president himself, Laporta, obviously. So it will be interesting. Because if Hansi Flick goes, let's just say, in some weird shape and form, Hansi Flick goes, right? Arsenal better damn go try and get him. But again, I personally wouldn't want any of them. Mancini is just yeah. In those terms, yes, I get it. Not sure if that gets us over the line still, at least on the spot. Yeah, I get it. I've run out of patience way long ago. Same. I have definitely. I have. So we'll see. I would as well. If I had a chance, I would instantly go and get him. Definitely would instantly go and get him if I had a chance. What about Allegri? Any thought? Allegri at the moment is AC Milan's manager. He actually has had a pretty decent start with AC Milan based on AC Milan's performances last year. AC Milan currently are sitting fourth in the table, and if they win tomorrow against Fiorentina, right, they go top of the table. If they win tomorrow against Fiorentina, they go top of the table. Allegri at the moment is at AC Milan. There were some managers available as a free agents, including Allegri, at the time when Arteta got his extensions, the countless ones, right? There were Ancelotti, Luis Enrique, Hansi Flick, Nagelsmann. All of them were available, and Arsenal just didn't assign them. So maybe now with the things changing, because even Josh Kroenke was in the stadium today. Yes, Josh Kroenke was in the stadium today, in the Craven Cottage to watch Arsenal play. So maybe, just maybe, there is something to it. There is also Mick Jagger in the stands and everything. maybe, just maybe, there's something is going to change. And it feels like as well that Josh actually cares 10 times more, 100 times more about Arsenal than Stan does. Stan just was a figurehead, so to speak. Josh maybe he actually cares about Arsenal. And I just wish that he had enough nerve to pull the trigger on Arteta and just saying enough is enough. That is the only drawback at the moment I have with Josh, at least. Do I want Kroenke to go? Yes, I do. But let's just say if Josh gets the full ownership of Arsenal, obviously it still belongs to Stan at the end of the day, right? But if Josh gets a free run at Arsenal, and if this continues, maybe there is something to it. There was a time when I really wanted Allegri, same. But that time was before the fraud took charge. The interest cooled down since then. Yeah, I get it. I wanted Conte as well, but that didn't work out. We didn't get him. Allegri as well. There have been so many good managers Arsenal could have gone instead of Arteta. It's actually wild. Wait, let me check. 2019, 2020. 2019, 2020, right? Now, let me check. 2020, right? National at the moment is played in different first and second all competitions. Well, for example, right now there is Southgate, Joachim Löw, Xavi, Spalletti, Thiago Motta, Marco Rose, Erik ten Hag, Terzic, and everything. Who else is there? The latest ones. Well, Graham Potter is still available, but he looks like he's going to sign with Sweden. Dunga is available. Lol. But yeah, I just put in, right, in the search engine the free agent managers, right, from 1920, the season when we signed Mikel Arteta, right? When we signed Mikel Arteta. Managers who were prominent free agent managers included, at the time, Ernesto Valverde, Massimiliano Allegri, Leonardo Jardim, and there were some more, I think. There were some more, if I'm not mistaken. Obviously, Zidane, Allegri, Pochettino, lol. Emery, obviously, because he got sacked by us. Niko Kovac was available. Favre was available. Marco Silva was available, ironically enough. There were quite a few decent managers available at the time when we signed Mikel Arteta to Arsenal as the manager. Van Gaal, oh God. Well, it's Southgate, so you know how that's going to go. It's Southgate. Like, it's actually kind of nuts. And obviously, since we signed Mikel Arteta, he has gone 3 extensions. And in that time, yes, Luis Enrique, Carlo Ancelotti, and all of them, Flicks and Nagelsmann, there are lots of them available as well. And we just didn't sign them, which is kind of nuts. And to think that we had a chance, for example, to get Allegri, we had a chance to get Flick, we had a chance to get some of those managers who actually have won stuff, instead of we gave basically a kindergarten graduate a CEO position in terms of regular day jobs, right? It just seems very preposterous, very, very preposterous. And right now, I don't know how, but people still have the nerve to say that he's learning on the job. Because 6.5 years in the job, you should not be learning on the job as much as you are still. Yes, you should be learning every day, but it shouldn't be what it is right now. And on top of that, after 6.5 years, you would think that you would not make the same mistakes when you basically were in the first year, but you still are. That's the most frightening thing about everything. Still making the same mistakes. Big up, Hendon, big up. What a stinkfest of a match. 100%. Even the F1 sprint race was more exciting than the Fulham versus Arsenal game. I'm not gonna lie, the McLarens taking each one out, basically because they collided with Sauber, right, in the first corner of the sprint race, was more exciting than Arsenal's style of play in the last year. I'm kid you not, it was more exciting. But hey, it is what it is, I guess. It is what it is. Interesting to see what the regular race is going to bring. What the regular race is going to bring. Qualifying should be also a bit later on. What time is the qualifying? What time is the qualifying for F1 today? In 1 hour. 1 hour, 9 minutes. So basically midnight my time, 10 p.m. UK time. It is the qualifying for the regular Grand Prix for tomorrow, the Texas USA Grand Prix. Definitely going to watch that. 100% I'm going to watch that. We'll see how that goes. And here's another one, by the way, people, just for the sake of an argument, since Hendon is here and he's mentioning F1, right? If Arsenal piss me off to a very big extent, to a certain extent, right, I might turn this into an F1 channel. Not sure how it could go and what I'm going to talk about specifically, because I haven't looked too much that deep into it, right? I have a blueprint of general ideas, what I could talk about, what I could do, what I could upload as videos, what I could do for streams and stuff like that, right? But I have had these ideas that if Arsenal really, if they don't change and everything, at some point I'm gonna dry up. And I'm gonna change the narrative of the channel. That is the case at some point. Whether it would be F1 or something like that, I don't know. But definitely it would be changed up. Definitely would be changed up if we are looking from that lens and that perspective. If you want to say it that way. Just curious, out of curiosity, since 11 people are here, like and subscribe, people. If I was about to make an F1 channel, or if I would be doing F1 content on this channel, would you watch? Just out of curiosity. Why not a knitting tutorial channel? I'm not gonna lie, I've learned a lot from my grandmother. I never learned from her knitting. I learned how to crochet, right? But I never learned how to knit. I don't know, something about knitting really threw me off at the time when she was teaching me, right? And it was a weird one, I'm not gonna lie. But crocheting I picked up instantly, and it was a very nice experience. I still tend to crochet at times, even to this day. There you go. Exactly. I could do something like that. Or yeah. But overall, yes. Would anyone be interested if I did F1 content in general, just randomly speaking, F1 content? Let's just say I scrap Arsenal and I just do F1 content. Would you be interested? Also, I'm a Ferrari fan, so that would also go very well. I'm not gonna lie. But it is what it is. Would be interesting to discussion topics. And obviously, I need to catch up on certain things regarding F1, but I do F1 in general. I watch F1, I read on news and breaking news and stuff like that. But would you be interested in general? I need to, as I said, I would need to brush up on certain things, because there are some parts of the of the F1 stuff I don't follow as deeply as I should or would like to, because obviously due to time indeficiencies, let's just put it that way, I don't have enough time. But if I basically didn't upload Arsenal content, then I would utilize the time I had when I basically used the Arsenal time for F1. I actually could do it very properly. Personally, I don't know how much about F1. I've never cared since Schumacher retired. I see. I'm more into MotoGP than F1, actually. I get it, MotoGP. To be honest, since Valentino Rossi retired, I have not watched MotoGP at all. Since Valentino Rossi retired, I haven't watched it since. Seriously. When the Red Baron was active, I watched F1, but now, yeah. I get it. At the moment, like, F1 is very weird at the moment as well, to be honest. I know it's a side topic from Arsenal reaction, right? But speaking of F1, it's a weird thing, to be honest, when I watch F1 these days, because with all the rule changes, with the advancements in technologies and all this stuff, it's a very, very, very rough watch at times. Let's just put it that way, because the cars have gotten bigger, wider, heavier. There's no more refueling, which also makes it obviously less dangerous, which is great. At the same time, there is less things that could go wrong, which makes races semi-predictable. Like, there was Ferrari dominance, there was Braun GP dominance, there was Red Bull dominance, there was Mercedes dominance, again Red Bull dominance, now it's McLaren dominance. It's like it's weird. It's very weird in those terms. Same with tennis. After Federer retired, I stopped watching it too. Yeah, I get it. I absolutely get it. Damn, I guess I lost interest in basketball after Kobe. Yeah, that is one thing. For me, it's kind of physically impossible to lose interest in the NBA or basketball in general. Let's just put it that way, because I follow also the FIBA in Europe. I follow not as much to the local, because again, it's a rough one, but it is what it is. But for me, it's kind of imprinted in me. Most of the sports I follow, even to this day, as I'm live today on the October 18th, 2025, are sports that I have done as a child. And I have done growing up until I was like 2022. Like floorball, volleyball, football, basketball, chess, and all this stuff. Not maybe as much chess. I don't play it as much anymore, but in general, yeah. Does your channel has to be about sports? No, not specifically. But for me, sports is kind of one of those things that kind of takes integral part of my life, because when I'm not live here, right? I know I'm live only a day, an hour or so a day, right? Despite all that, when I am on Twitter, on X, right? It's the people I follow mostly are news on sports, are some DJs, worldwide known, renowned DJs, and stuff like that. I don't follow like certain things, right? When I am not live, I watch a lot of sports. I watch basketball, football, hockey, and I watch a lot, right? So in those terms, it wouldn't be a very hard switch for me, because I follow it daily as well. It's not like I'm just a Sunday couch surfer. Let's just put it that way, where I follow it, and that's about when I just check the results on stats and everything. I actually watch it and everything, like F1, like NBA games, NHL games, and stuff like that. So yeah, but it should in general, it shouldn't be only about sports. It can be about anything. But for me, I cannot envision myself, even if I stop an Arsenal channel and do a different type of sport, right? If it's hockey, NBA, or if it's F1 and stuff, or F1, which is more likely, right, and stuff like that. I cannot envision myself outside of that. I cannot envision, let's just have general talk channel where people just talk, where I talk about certain topics, because to talk on a certain topics, you have to be educated enough to talk about them. And there are some things I can speak only from experience, some things I know only theoretically. And the ideal scenario, you need both. And many things in life, obviously, I have both of them. But to talk about other topics, you need to follow them like quite a bit, because the updates on specific things come out literally hourly. And I'm just not cut out for that life. That's how I feel, at least. I wouldn't vlog and blog my life as well. It just seems dumb for me personally. Game put me to sleep. Same. It wasn't great. Wasn't great. I wasn't that interested in basketball, to be fair. Maybe just the persona that intrigued me. Yeah, it tends to start even sometimes like that. It tends to sometimes even start like that because um, when I first was watching NHL, right, I didn't care about hockey. I'm not gonna lie, didn't give a damn about hockey. But I watched a certain team just because of a certain player. I'm not a fan of that team, but I just like the player, how he portrayed himself on the pitch, right? And everything. And afterwards, obviously, he retired. I stopped watching. But after a few years, I just picked it up again because I had a bit of an interest and everything. And since then, it has just snowballed into regular occurrence, daily thing. Maybe I just like sporting, rooting for sophisticated, disciplined, hardworking, passionate sportsmen. Holy crap, that sounds top gunnery. Supporting, rooting for sophisticated, disciplined, hardworking. Maybe. Bergkamp, Kobe, Schumacher, Usyk, Federer. Yeah, I get it. Josh was there as LA Rams play the Jaguars at Wembley on Sunday. The Jaguars are owned by the Fulham owner. Oh, so it makes literally, if that wasn't the case, Josh Kroenke wouldn't be at the stadium. Basically, that's what you're saying. I get it. I almost got back into basketball with all the Ball brothers. If LiAngelo made the league too, I would probably be watching it. Did you wanted to watch Dooley due to controversy? What, especially the LeVar Ball thing, that what he was saying and what he created around all his sons playing in Lithuania and Europe and all this stuff because they didn't get drafted and all this stuff because of that, or what specifically? A suggestion: how about watching Springboks matches when they are on? I'm not gonna lie. When I one thing I will say, I watch a lot crime TV dramas. I don't know what it is about them, but I really, really enjoy them. I know partially why I like them because it's something connected to my IQ and everything that I had to take tests for at some part of my life and everything, right? But I really enjoy watching these crime TV dramas, trying to figure things out, advanced technologies that advance and everything. I don't know why, but I really, really enjoy them more than anything. Besides football, what's the most popular sport in your country? Football is not even popular in my country. In my country, most popular sports are basketball and hockey. Then it's only football. Because even based on the national teams, in football we suck. If you know, you know. In basketball, we are top 10 team in the world. In hockey, we are top 8 team in the world, actually. So it is like that. The autumn tours start next month, something like that. No, I wanted to watch the Ball brothers because Lonzo has a complete floor game. LaMelo is just a genius when he wants to be, but LiAngelo was just gonna tell me that we are seeing a movie for real. I get it. Unfortunately enough, all of them are injury prone. That is the sad part in all of this. Maybe that's why it also didn't work out for Lonzo and Bulls. LaMelo as well. It's not the greatest for Charlotte, but hey. Oh, so that's where your high IQ moves come from. What do you mean? I have literally no high IQ moves. I know that in my life, I will tell you this much. In my life, most people I have met, they have been part of my life, have said that I'm very smart. Personally, I don't see it. I'm not gonna lie, I don't see it. But they say it, so maybe it's true if they say it. But personally, I don't see it whatsoever. Maybe it's just because they have been part of my life during specific time which relates to specific topics. Maybe that's why it seems that way. I don't know. But hey, LeVar is just funny. It's nuts. He was interesting when the shoes were a thing. God concept. Someone will do it again in the future. Yeah, most likely. 100%. Most likely 100%. There at some point is gonna come out one nutcase who's gonna cause some controversy with his takes, like for example Kendrick Perkins does on consistent basis on the media and the shows, the NBA analyst shows. Because I just cannot stand the takes sometimes he takes. It's actually nuts. F1 qualifying in 1 hour. Yeah, nice. So definitely, I'm gonna go. In a few minutes, I'm gonna end the stream. It's about 5-10 minutes. I'm gonna end the stream. Gonna grab some food, and I'm gonna enjoy the F1 qualifying. Big up, Camden. Verstappen could actually end up winning the title. Yeah, but that is the thing. For Verstappen to win the title, right? He needs to win every single race and every single sprint race, plus have all the fastest laps, and that must coincide with Piastri not finishing higher than third in about 3 races, and he needs to finish outside the points most of the time or crash out. Something similar with Lando Norris. Russell needs to finish 5th all the time or something like that. And it's actually kind of nuts. Like, if you're looking from that point of view, it could happen. Oh, not Verstappen. Sorry, that was about Charles. I think it was about Charles. Verstappen could if McLaren are going to ball it. Because McLaren is insane. The thing that they have created a position where they have 2 first drivers, which is gonna blow up in their face big time sooner rather than later. And right now, with the fact that they are not switching those positions, they are giving it back, not giving it back. They are celebrating without Piastri some things. Lando Norris seems still to be their golden boy, but Piastri is showing them up because he's more level-minded and more consistent and everything. What are they doing there? It literally makes no sense. Because no matter how you look at it, you will have one unhappy driver, right? But it's better to have unhappy driver as a who is actually a designated number 2 than having 2 first number 1s to have both of them displeased. If this keeps up, and I kid you not, if this keeps up, I can see McLaren not winning a world title. Yes, they have won the Constructors' Championship, but they won't win a world title. It could go to Max if this keeps up. Because since they fired Horner, it's actually they have been on upward spiral. And they have improved. Ferrari just have fallen down into abyss where even Williamses and Zaubers are faster than them for some weird goddamn reason, right? It's like, even though they commercial that this season they have built the best car in the world and they're gonna go for the glory and everything, but as always they are just a shit show and a clown show, right? Like, it makes no sense. But going back to McLaren's, I think they have dug a hole at the moment where they won't be able to get out of. Because it has come to a point where they need to set some boundaries. And they need to say, you are number 1, you are number 2. But Piastri cannot be number 2 when he's the leader of the race, of the title race. He cannot be the number 2. And Lando Norris as well, he cannot be the number 2 because he's always been the number 1. Nobody expected that Piastri will outperform Lando at the moment the way he has. And with the policy that Zach Brown has put into the team, yes, it works maybe for the first 5 to 10 races. Afterwards, you need to set boundaries. Because right now, it's in a position where it's going to blow up in their faces and they will lose it. They're not going to do the sweep of, let's just say, constructors first and second place in the individual championship. They actually might screw it up and ball it big time. And it's actually going nuts. If Verstappen wins the title, then some has to be getting fired at McLaren. Oh, 100%. 100%. But be it Stella or Brown, if he can even be fired. Yeah, I know, right? How's my FPL going this weekend? I think it's doing very poorly. I think it's going very poorly. Let me check. I am on 58 points. I am on 58 points currently, with 1 player left to go. I'm on 58 points with 1 player left to go. 58 points. How I have managed that? 36, 34, 38, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44. Oh, I see. I'm on 50, yeah. Yeah, I would watch F1 show. Interesting. Because I have blueprints, right? You know, like, as you can see here, I have a notepad with lots of stuff written on it. It's for the stream. It's for sometimes after the stream, what I wrote down for the next stream and stuff like that. I also have quite a few pages in here, as you can see, right? And there are some sketches, some blueprints, some random ideas thrown out there. What I could talk about if I had an F1 channel, for example, on regular basis, on daily, weekly, when it's the break during winter, what I could talk about as well, what I could discuss, do some quizzes, do some guessing shows, maybe, and stuff like that. I have thought this through to a certain extent, but to fully plunge into it, I have to abandon Arsenal channel. Well, basically rebrand this into F1 channel. That's what I meant by saying this, right? But at the moment, I don't see any benefit of that. I generally don't see any benefit of that. Would I love to have an F1 channel? I absolutely would love to have an F1 channel. But at the moment, I don't have time to run two channels. And I also kind of don't want to leave Arsenal as of yet, because there is still hope in my Arsenal heart after 23 years being an Arsenal fan, obviously. You don't want to check out tomorrow. We're gonna do it tomorrow on stream. Prost, Senna, Rosberg, Hamilton. Yeah. The good old days. And of course, the big rivalries. Of course, Hakkinen and Schumacher and all this stuff. Like the good old days. Zach Brown wants Norris to win the title. Said it on record at the start of the season. Yeah, he wants him, but if he does that, Piastri is gonna generally go. He will not give a damn, because he has proven that, based on these season's results, Piastri is number one, at least for now, right? So it's a nuts one. Their policy, what they have installed into the team, it's actually ruining them at the moment. McLaren have been trying to steer Norris to the championship at any chance they've got this season, hence papaya rules nonsense. Exactly. And despite all these rules and steering Norris, Piastri has basically done one over them. It feels like he's always 2 steps ahead. Only 2026 can save Ferrari, 100%. If they fumble the 2026 year, then the Freddy Vasseur is surely getting sacked, or they're hiring some Englishman, or one or the other. I wouldn't be surprised if they're going to try and go for Horner or something like that. Wouldn't be surprised. I literally would not be surprised. Would not. But hey, 2026 will show, because, again, just like last year, Ferrari are promising you Shangri-La paradise, the best thing since sliced bread. They have made very close ideal car to win everything. And obviously, just watch, the preseason testing is going to come, first race, bang, they have crashed out. Something's going to go wrong. Always something about Ferrari when there are a clown show, always. Yeah, at the moment you lost me at McLaren. I get it. Exactly. The cars, exactly. And that is, for me, one of the biggest issues right now. F1 has lost its appeal to a certain extent just because of that. I know, back in the day, you had maybe Monaco. Maybe you had 2 more races during a 18 or 20 race week season, where there was very rough overtakes, where you could not overtake almost whatsoever, right? But now, due to the cars getting 10 times bigger, what it feels like, and the rules being changed and adjustments being made, and also with the fact that Pirelli are making tires, which is quite a nuts one, but Pirelli are making tires that last pretty much a whole race. You need one pit stop. There's very small margin for error even on that, to get it wrong. Obviously, Ferrari does it every time somehow, but there is very small margin for error to something go wrong. And there is very small amount of controversy, some very small amount of issues during that. And it makes races very predictable, because these days, unless somebody's engine dies, the brakes go, they have a flat, they break their wing, right? It's pretty much straightforward. Very straightforward races, pretty much, most of the time. And the cars are much bigger than what they were in the 90s, for example. The circuits are the same. Exactly. There's a good amount of overtaking F1 with present cars. There was the most overtaking those 2014 shaped cars, though. Exactly. And that, for me, is the thing. There is a lot of overtaking these days. Still, I get it. But most of the overtaking happens at the back. It doesn't happen in the front. And that, for me, is the biggest thing. I would love to have, let's just say, a race where, until the last lap, or even to last 5 laps, the first place is not decided. Because the first, let's just say, 4 drivers are within 2 seconds. They have DRS and they can do whatever they want, and they try to overtake each other, right? But these days, like, you have, like, say 15, 20 laps to go. First place, 18 seconds ahead of the second place, or 12 seconds. That driver needs a pit stop. That driver needs a pit stop, which makes it a moot point at the end of the day. Like, we can have these debates quite a bit, to be honest. It was pretty clear even last season that Piastri was going to be better than Norris over the course of this season. It was, to be honest. He showed, he already then showed that he is ready to do some madness and take over. I'll just put it that way. Brown was smoking some corporate reefer. Yeah, 100%, 100%. Imagine how much sponsor money falls into Zach Brown's pocket if he produces an English drivers' champion. Exactly. All the PR that England is going to push, it's going to be wild. The cars are grossly overweight at present. Used to weigh about 650 in the 90s. They're over 9. Yeah, they're a ton almost. Like, hopefully it changes. Hopefully something changes, but it's kind of unlikely. Can't wait for the DRS to be gone next year. It should be good. It should be good. Yeah, but the thing is, though, obviously, this will put more, how to say, it will close the gap between teams to a certain extent, because we will see if the team has fully prepared and they're ready for the season, they're ready for the season. If the car is ready, they're going to be ready, and it's going to be shown on the track. If the team drives 20 seconds away in let's just say 10 laps, it just shows that team is very prepared. Obviously, there will be finger pointing. FIA is going to investigate some cheating and scamming and all this stuff, but it is what it is. It comes with the territory. It should increase some certain aspects of the drives. Hopefully it should increase some aspects of the races. Big up, Godfrey. Big up. Please activate the arrow. Save my... Yeah, hopefully. Back in the day when there was no DRS, it was actually more enjoyable to watch, ironically enough. Hey. Glad we managed to scam win. Overall performance was terrible. Facts. Yeah, it was a rough one. But yeah, people. F1 qualifiers in 45 minutes. I'm going to go grab some food and prepare for that. But for today, I'm going to be signing off. So, smash the likes. Subscribe if you're new. Hope you're happy with the Arsenal win, not the performance. Lol. I'm hopefully going to see you all tomorrow. But for today, I'm going to be signing off. Have a great evening. Enjoy your day tomorrow. There are 2 great games tomorrow. Place in Premier League. Hopefully great ones. But you know how Premier League goes. It's sometimes not watchable. I just put it that way. But yeah, for today, I'm signing off. And hopefully, I'm going to see you soon. Peace.